As part of Fáilte Ireland's business supports, this calculator has been developed to assist hotels and restaurants in running an effective and efficient breakfast service labour model. This is part of an overall suite of supports called Driving Innovation, Revenues and Efficiencies in Food and Beverage. The calculator is located here on the Fáilte Ireland website. The model consists of three distinct sections, all contained within one tab: revenue and staffing inputs, tabular output, and graph output. In advance of populating the model, you will need the following information. For revenue, you will need the number of expected guests or diners per hour, split between sleepers, walk-ins, room service, and breakfast to go. You'll need the applicable rate, excluding VAT, for each class of guest or diner. For staffing, you will need the name of each rostered employee, the basic hourly rate of each rostered employee, the PRSI and holiday pay for each rostered employee, and the proposed staffing schedule for the sitting. Let's begin to populate the model. All cells highlighted in brown can be populated, while all other cells are locked. The locked cells are formula driven and should not be edited. To build a revenue projection, consider the number of diners that you expect during each hour of service, split by the type of diner. This information should be populated here. The applicable rate for each guest or diner should be populated here. The product of these two inputs will generate a revenue projection by hour over the length of the service. This is shown here. Within the staffing schedule, there are three areas of service: kitchen staff, wait staff, and breakfast to go staff. There is a full list provided of all staff positions that may be involved in each area. It is only necessary to fill in the template for the positions held within your business. For each staff member, you'll need to input their name here, their basic hourly rate of pay here, their applicable PRSI rate here, and their holiday pay entitlement here. To build your staffing schedule, for every staff member, choose their hours of work by clicking on the appropriate time slot. For example, if the breakfast chef is scheduled to work from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., you will click the On button here, 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 and here. You will see here that the breakfast chef is now scheduled to work for 5 hours across the service. This scheduling should be completed for all staff rostered for the service. You will note that where a staff member is scheduled to work, but for a period of less than 4 hours, a note pops up here advising you of same. Once you are satisfied that you have input all necessary data, the rest of the model will auto-populate and provide output information for you to review. The information is provided in two forms: a standard tabular analysis akin to a snapshot P&L, and a graphical analysis of the same information, which provides a visual alternative. The tabular analysis outlines revenue by hour and guest type here. Equivalent payroll costs are shown by employee below the revenue lines. You will note that key metrics are provided: hourly staff to guest ratio here, hourly wait staff to guest ratio here, hourly payroll percentage here. The optimal staffing schedule will ensure consistency of ratio and cost percentages across the entirety of the service, thus reconciling peak periods of the service with peak levels of staffing. We provide the key information in visual form also. Hourly payroll percentage is shown here. The brown vertical bars illustrate the payroll cost per hour as a percentage of revenue. The yellow line represents the payroll percentage across the duration of the breakfast service. You should aim to keep your hourly payroll percentage closely aligned with the average payroll percentage across the service. Deviations above or below the line will indicate periods where you are over or understaffed. Note that there will be a period before breakfast opens where you will be preparing for service, in this scenario 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. As there are no revenues, this has been set at 0% or not applicable. Hourly revenues and payroll are shown here. The brown vertical bars illustrate the revenue per hour. The yellow line represents the payroll cost per hour. There should be a correlation between the trends of both the line and the bar graph. Under an optimal staffing structure, periods of higher revenues should be matched by higher payroll, and vice versa. The ratio of diners to staff is shown here. This graph illustrates the ratio of diners to staff based on number of eating guests to all staff, brown vertical bars, Number of eat-in guests to wait staff on the restaurant floor, yellow vertical bars. This will help you determine the optimal staffing levels for each period of service and benchmark against industry average and internal targets. A revenue analysis graph is shown here. This graph will help you understand the primary revenue drivers of the breakfast service, split by product mix. You can use this information to identify areas of potential opportunity in the market. There is no requirement to edit the graphs. The model is sufficiently dynamic that the information will automatically update when input data is edited. I hope you found this video informative and that you find the calculator a useful tool going forward. Thanks for watching.